Today we're going to be working on adding GitHub Actions to our project. So right now the way it works is like I've been running all the tests locally. So I want to spend some of the time today just going through adding GitHub Actions. Hey, how's it going? The fake Pete. Yeah, so the goal today is just going through GitHub Actions and like setting it up and being able to configure it for our projects, because I've been running all the tests locally, and I pushed a change the Monday that ended up breaking. It was a breaking change, so I want to make sure that doesn't happen again. And the best way to do this is by starting doing pull requests. Even if I'm the only one working on the project and I'm the only one reviewing them, I want to be able to have pull requests. I want to be able to meet a pull request, have the pull request go through all the checks that we wanted to go through. So linting and running the tests to make sure that the tests themselves don't have anything weird. So we want to make sure that works correctly. So what I'm going to be doing tonight is just going through that process of just adding GitHub Actions to our project itself. So I used GitHub Actions only once, and it was very short. I didn't really do much around it. So the goal will be to just learn what GitHub Actions are and how can we start using it in our projects. So that's kind of what I'm going to be doing tonight, just going through like the different documentation and then just trying different things out for our project to be able to get GitHub Actions going. And some of these things, I think some of the configurations that I will have to do is I might have to do it off the screen. So I will try to do most of it. I think most of it is just through a configuration file that we're going to have to create. So that's kind of how we're going to go for it. Okay, yeah. So let's see. So it looks like we have to create a folder in our project called GitHub. Then inside of GitHub, we are going to create a new one called workflow. Cool. Workflows. And I guess inside of workflows, I think we could just use any file name. And it looks like the user and the file name that they're using are the same as the name of the I guess that's the name of the check of the action itself. Okay, so first I need to check what kind of linter I want to use for Go. So our project itself is just built in Go. So we have to find a linter in Go. And then I might end up adding a linter for JavaScript because we have a bit of JavaScript too. So the first one I want to find is one that we create. We're going to use one for Go, and then the next one we're going to use is for JavaScript. The thing I need to check is that my .dot files have a linter already that I've been using. Sorry, not my .dot files. My beamrc has a linter built into it. So I just have to find which one it is. I think it's one that Go please has. Okay, I think this is. There's not. I don't think this is the one I'm using. So I just need to find which one's the one I'm using. I think it's like, I don't remember the name of the person. So I know where to find it. So it's Go. So GoBeam might have it. Okay, so GoBeam might be the one that might have the tool that I'm looking for. So Go Metal linter. Yeah, that's not used anymore. So there is a Go meta linter, but it got replaced at some point with something else. Because I know a Go meta linter was very heavy, so I believe it got replaced with something else. See, I'm not sure which one is the one that they're using by default, so it'll be. Okay, so maybe I should just pick one for now and see how it goes. So it looks like Go CI is the one. Oh wait, there's someone that is always like making like who made all the tools for. I wonder if I could find him. There is someone that uh, okay, there we go. That's what I'm looking for. So I'm looking for a static analyzer. Yeah, this is it for it that I was looking for. Let's see. I think this is the one I've been using. I just have to figure out how to get it. I think I just have to do. We're gonna do just go get, and then I think I just have to do. I could just do this here. Just go get, go tools, and then cmd static check. Yeah, so I think this is the one that we need. So the goal is to be able to have some of the tools running locally as well. So I could just run them and see if there's any errors. So the way it will work is that I will have I'm going to create a pull request that has all these different tools that we're going to be using, as well as the one that is going to be we're going to be using for the static link. Okay, so let's see if okay, cool. So let's figure out the different commands that we could use here. Okay. Okay, so I think we could just do little. Okay, so this one is the one that I believe has that information that okay, so we have a bunch of errors. So it's going to tell us the different errors that we have around our code base of things that are being used or things that are not being used. So this is very helpful. So we could go through it and like figure out like if things are not being used, and then we can just remove them. So this is the first test that I want to do. Okay, so that's the first one. Maybe I wonder what the golangci package does. I've seen it before. It's supposed to be really fast, but I don't understand what the difference is. So I guess that the static checker is just doing a static check of like, it's just checking if things are being used by looking at by just parsing the whole code and seeing all the different dependencies and checking that things are being called. So I guess it's a combination. So that might be the case. So it might be like the goals CI linked is just a combination of all of them where the static check is just 1. So maybe that would be the cool thing. The cool thing will be to just use this one as the main one, and then we could figure out how to turn on and turn off different things. Yeah, so it's just like a bundle of all the different linters. Yeah, static check is here too. So this might be, we could try this out. So let's get it. Let's see how we install it. So I don't want it running like this. Oh, wait, why? How come I can't use go get? So I don't want to just pull it like with a batch script or something. I want to run. I want to see if there's a way for me to just. Okay, so I'm just gonna do the usual here. Let's just make sure that I get the name correctly. Yeah. So I'm just gonna pull it from using GoGet. So I usually don't like running batch scripts directly on my computer, because I don't know what it's gonna be doing. So I try to avoid that. Okay, so this is the. You're supposed to download all the different linters. So it might take a bit. So, okay, so we have the linter we're gonna be using. We're gonna be using this one here, and it has, by default, it has go bad, error check, static check, on use, go simple. I guess go simple is just looking at the lines of code in a function. So let's figure out what that is. Oh, maybe in the documentation. So, not sure what go simple does. So we will figure that out when we run it. Structure checks, just make sure that structure fields are not being used. Inefficient assignment, and they code type check. Okay, so we try that out. So I believe I just have to run Golang. And let's see, run. Wait, what is run this so inclined? So okay, so we get a list of all the links. This is kind of misleading or confusing, because like, is all this running? I'm guessing it's running locally, so I'm gonna go with that for now. But sounds like the command descriptions are interesting. Okay, so there's different things that we're not using, which is true because we're not using this file anymore. So I could just delete the whole. So this is the code that we were using for a bit, but we stopped using it, so we don't use it anymore. So I'm gonna get rid of it. It's all right. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So we have a bunch of errors. So maybe okay. So we do have a bunch of errors. So if we run it, how it's look like? Let's see the status code. Okay, so it's failing. So if the status code is if that is returning 0, it means it was successful. If returning 1, it's failing. Cool. So this is working correctly. Now we just need to go back into the GitHub Actions and start looking into how we can start using different actions. So we want to do on, where's the pull request? So I might have to look into the documentation for GitHub Actions in a bit, but go back to our file here, workflows. I'm gonna create a new file, call it linter. Yep. So we need the name. Now, I'm not sure how the file is displayed. And then, so I don't want to run this on every. I want to run this on every pull request, so I have to look into like the different configurations for it. Introduction. Okay, so it's kind of like some of the CI pipelines I have used before. It's just there's a job, and then the job will have different steps and then actions. Events. Okay, so there's different events. So I think that's the one that I want to look at right now. It's like the events that I want to try are, yeah, I want on pull requests. So for now, I don't want to run any. I think if we run it on pull request, we don't have to run it on push, because it will just rerun it when we merge it into master. So so you can also specify the branches too. Okay, so there's like a lot of events that if we were doing different things, we could figure out how to use it. So if you have a pull request and the pull request is for the main branch, then it's gonna trigger a. It's just gonna build it for that branch only. If someone opens a pull request against a different branch, it's not gonna build it. So that's very helpful to know. Okay, so we are gonna go back to our quit. So, okay, so we have the name of the job. Sorry, not a job, of the action. Then we have the event, and then we just have to create a job. So we are gonna probably only have one job. Which will enter. Okay. So I guess this is what the name for it is gonna be. So this is the name of the action, the name of the job. Well, that's kind of interesting because yeah, it's a job name. And then if I don't provide a job name, so if I have run linter, I could also just take this off, and then linter will be the name of it. So for now, I'm just gonna do the name. And then different operating systems that I can use. So I think you could also run on a Mac. So I wonder if you could just make this tool run on a Mac, Windows, and Linux. I want to check if there's any limitations on that. So for now, I'm gonna leave Ubuntu for now. Okay, and then there is the steps, which is the steps that this is gonna take. So, and then the name of the steps. So I'm going to take what they have. So check out code, and what is uses? Okay, so I need to just learn what uses does. So I guess uses is the action that it's going to be taking. I'm just wondering what uses is. Okay, so uses, the uses key. Okay, so I guess it's an action. How do I find the source code from? So I wonder how they're. So this is supposed to have like a download certain code. Okay, so there's a repo just called actions. Sorry, there's a org called actions, and inside of that organization there is a checkout. Okay, so that makes sense. And is written in TypeScript. So if we want to write our own, we can. Okay, so this action is just to pull your GitHub code from GitHub itself. Okay, cool. And then okay, so we have the first action, and then we're gonna run our linter, but we want to run our own linter. So what is super linter? I wonder if super linter is just a linter. Yeah, it's the linter that runs all of the linters. Wait. So this one has. I want to use this. For now, no. I don't think I'm gonna use it just because I want to learn how to write my own commands too. So this will kind of get everything going. But the main thing is that I won't be able to. I want to be able to, like, how do I write a bash command or something like that? Okay, cool. So that was fast. So you could run. So we want to do something like. What did he use? Oh, just a step. Okay, so we're not gonna download anything. Wait, we need that one. We are gonna do name and run enter. Okay, and then we are gonna do run and so in YAML files, if you do pipe, you could then just like write more things. Like every line will be so every line after that we can would just be parsed as part of the string, so it will be like a new line. And here we're gonna do the command that I use. Oh, we might not have go here, so we just have to figure out how to get like a whatever. How do we install go? So that will be the next thing. Okay, so here we're gonna do go get, and here we are getting the Go CLI link, and then we ended up running it by just doing golangci-lint run, and that's the only thing we had to do to get it to run. Now the missing piece here is how do we install Go? It looks like you could also have bash scripts too. So there's like setup no. There's one for setting up. Actions. Yeah, so we want to find a repo that like you see how Go is set up. Okay, so they do have a action to set up Go. So cool. So we could do this. So we name. So we're going to install Go and we're going to use, and then the action name. Okay. Let's just give it a Go version for now too. So let's use a Go version that we're running locally. But I might also want to run it against like master. I want to see if there's like a version for me to run it against. Yeah. So yeah, I want to check if there's a way to run it, to run master, or to run like if I wouldn't go about running multiple versions of Go for like linting and everything else. Okay, so I guess I want to do this. So this means that I could just, I believe it means that it will use any, it will use all the different, so if Go 1.15.3 comes out, it's going to use that. So it's going to use all the minor versions of Go. Okay, so we have, I think this is enough for us to test out. So I'm going to just create a new branch. Okay, Github Actions. Push. Which doesn't have anything. Add this directory. Okay. Are gonna do. Okay. Cool. So we now have a branch here that has all the GitHub actions. I'm gonna create a pull request from it. Oops. So because I am gonna create a pull request off the stream and then bring it in. Okay. Cool. So our GitHub action is being picked up. I think it's starting a flow on it. So there's a job in progress. Just like setting it up. So we can see when it's done. Okay, so the next thing that I want to check is how do I run. So if there's no, so first I want to make sure there's no issues, but it's gonna take a bit. So I want to make sure how do I add. I want to be able to add multiple jobs. So I want to be able to run. Okay, well, it's right here staring me. Okay, so there is a concept of build, and then there is a strategy, which is what it's going to be running on. So the goal will be to be able to run. I want to run in I want to run in the current version of Go, which is 1.15. But I also want to run on the master version of Go too. So I want to make sure that the action that we're using supports that. Ideally, you want to run. Wait, there's no nightly. Doesn't look like it then. Yeah, it would be cool if I could run it against master. Like the master version of the Go branch. Maybe for now, I'm just gonna do the current version, and then this is still being set up. Oh, it fell. Oh, wait. I thought I added a version. Oh, I didn't copy the whole thing. Okay. So since I'm working on a pull request, I'm gonna force push to it. Yeah, so the version itself is the version of the action is missing. So that's why it failed. So we just have to wait for it to run again. We can also figure out, maybe it's interesting that there's not a naive, like a master version of Go, of the Go branch. Because it would be cool if I'm able to run against like the latest, like whatever's in the Go repo right now, run a version again, like run a test against it. But the main issue, well, maybe the issue is like there's not a build version of it. And what that means is like no one's building a Go branch. Yeah, it would be very cool to just do. Oh wait, maybe this action has it. If not, maybe we, as part of the maybe a Monday stream, we are able to like build our own GitHub action and ask support to building. Yeah, most of these things are just built. So it looks like an action is just like a Docker container too. So it might be just easier for us to just create a Go container that we keep in like in Docker Hub. Then we could pull it down, and when we pull it down, we are able to handle like the different configurations for it. Okay, so let's see where our job is. Okay, so it looks like it failed. So in finish installing Go. How do I see the errors? Oh, I need to log in to see the whole thing. Wait, why do I have to log in to see the whole thing? Okay. So this is how it looks like. So it shows like all the different things that fell. But you have to be logged in to be able to see it, which is kind of interesting. But it downloaded everything that we needed. So we just have to fix those things now. Okay, so we are gonna fix. Wait. So we might only have to fix some of these things, or not. I think. Okay, so okay, we have a lot of things that are not committed. So maybe the best thing to do is git stash. So I'm gonna stash everything. And I'm gonna do I'm gonna pop it, and then I'm gonna stash it again. I need to check how to include. Okay, stash all. Because we're gonna include like every file that even files that are not check-in, we want to include it. Okay, so we now have the GitHub Actions has pretty clean, so we could just do git. We could just do and it's gonna run. While it runs, think of that link. Take. I did one. The last one is really good. So the last one lets you run actions locally. So it might be something that we want to try it out while we're using it. So it lets you just do actions itself. Cool. So I might try this later. Okay. So these are the current issues we have, and it's mostly just us ignoring errors. Ignoring errors is most of the big ones. And then there is structs that are not being used at all, like nothing is calling it. There is nothing that is calling this channel right now. We don't really need it. We're not checking for errors here. So we just have to go and just make sure that we are checking for errors and making sure that, we check for errors and keep things clean. So this one is line 182. Okay, and this returns an error. So we should do error and just return it. So error is not nil. We're gonna return it. Error. Okay. It might be like some of these things were most likely got overlooked when we were first building our client, our chat, Twitch client and chat client. We just have to go through them and just make sure that they're correct. Okay. The main has a bunch of them. So pretty much I'm not checking any of the stars, so I have to do that. Copy returns an error. And send returns an error. So let's just do star. So we're gonna do everything that in main that. Okay, start. This one returns an error. Yeah. So we're gonna do if error. Yeah, this one is very unsafe because we are trying to close something. Like they say that it fails to start. It then tries to close it later on, so it's not safe at all. So we should handle this error. So our the event server that we are using here is the one that we use for notifications. So like the notifications that show up in as overlays in the chat. Those are handled there. Restore. I need to check why some of those errors are not showing up here, because it will have been easier if I could see the errors here. We don't need this. Next one is 5. So yeah, we have to clean all of this before we merge our check, or the check will always be failing. Okay, so this one returns an error. Also very important here to check for an error, because we don't want, if we're not able to connect to the Twitch chat server, we are going to try to authenticate anyways. So what we're doing here is saying fail to connect server. Yeah, this error should have been. Okay. And then because the error is being defined somewhere else, we don't have that. Okay. Cool. And the next one is also returns an error, so we should check for that error. If we don't check so this one is also important because if we fail to authenticate, we shouldn't connect. We shouldn't try to get any messages. So this one returns an error. Yeah, I had to check on my editor configuration because it will be nice to have these errors before show up here too. Okay, so maybe I should run that here. Yeah, that would be more helpful. Oh, okay, so we're pretty much done with main. So let's move on to our Mac server. This is a Mac server. Yeah, this is. Yeah, this is a Mac server. So the Mac server is in charge of handling pretty much the way it works. It handles. We are macking the Twitch API. What does this? Oh, so I think this one returns how much data is copied over, and then yeah. So we don't really care about how much data is being copied over. We only care if error. No. And in here we are using we have the still we're using the testing package in here, so we could just say like an error happened. And it could just be as straightforward as just saying failed to copy data. In most cases, beta won't work here, so we just have to print an error. Because we're inside of a Go routine, beta only works in the main thread. So if we're in the main Go routine, so if we're running outside, it would really matter, but it matters here. And we just have to do it here too. Okay. Yeah, so most of the issues are just me not handling the errors returns. Okay, so I haven't seen this one before. Efficient assign it. So let's see what that does. So wonder if I could teach Go please to use some kind of linting, like add more context to the linting. Oh, this is never used, so we don't have to do that. And I had a message for it too. Okay. Main, I left one in main. So this one could be straightforward. So it could be error, and we could do error not equal r. And then in this case, this error happens when if something happens with the HTTP server. So like if the port is taken or something like that, that error will trigger. Okay, and then so a couple other places that we're not checking for the errors. So I'm gonna try to fix as much errors as I can. And then from there we are able to I'm just gonna make it as part of the pull request. So it will be like just as a nice way for us to like have a clean slate when we start. Okay, so here we have done that one, and the next one is event 911. And this is 1 hour test. So if error, so yeah, so usually you should just handle your errors right away because you don't want to be doing this. Like after you have so much code, you don't want to go back and get it. So that means like you should try to handle all the errors right away. If you're doing anything like with JSON decoding and encoding, you should just handle those errors right away too. Because then some of the code that I'm cleaning up is not safe at all. It's very unsafe to not check for the errors, right? So like if the event server doesn't start, that means that we're not going to get any messages in the screen. And then like there is different things that we need to check for that we're not really checking for. So it's better if we just go through it. Okay. And then so this one is fixed. This one is fixed. The next one is line 72. Okay. Yeah. So we're not checking for errors here either. And then this one is the one that is starting. And so I want to make sure that. Okay. So if we cannot run the command, also very helpful. So here I'm not gonna fail. So I'm only gonna print the error. I'm not gonna fail here because it's not a showstopper if the command can never run, because the command itself, the thing that it's doing is just opening the user's browser. So here is not really bad. So I'm just gonna print an error here. Okay. So I'm gonna leave the configure like the structure checks for last and just continue doing the error checks. So a lot of the parsing stuff is not checking for error, which is some of the first code that we've written. Then there is like the goal parser, which has, well, that's the struct, so no struct for now. Let's go into yeah, I should probably have done this sooner. So this one is mostly so every couple of seconds, Twitch will send us a ping. We have to reply back with a pong. And so this is this reason. And if we don't, there might be something wrong with the Twitch server at some point. If it fails. Okay. Okay, so most of it is in the parser now. So we have most of the parsing code is just being wonky. Then we have some tests that are not doing the right thing, and then we have a bunch of structs that we're not using. So I'm gonna handle the parsing ones, and then I'm gonna jump into the structs afterward. But yeah, again, this is code that we wrote like 2 months ago, which I'm not sure why it didn't end up being tested, because like most of the time I was trying to test most of it. Okay, so this makes sense. So why would this return an error? I see. So I believe all of these ones will return error. So this one will return error. It's gonna return there. Wait, return an error here. Oh, it does. So we return nil. Okay, so that one returns an error. So 5. I think all of them return an error. So this logic is just parsing the different messages that we're getting from Twitch. And if there's any errors, we should handle them too, because we might get like a malform response and we're not handling correctly. I'm not sure that I'm getting. Okay, so 20. And we have to change this. Then 6. And the message from these functions are just pretty much saying that they couldn't parse what they were looking for. So it's gonna be the same message for all of them. Let's see, 27. Game. So that's why I'm not making the message more clearer. It's because the message that is being returned by the there's one function that is returning the error, and that one function is being used by all of these ones. So tags. The other thing I'm making sure, which I didn't do in the past, is errors should be attached to the method that returned the error or function that returned the error. So that's kind of what I'm trying to do here too. It was some feedback that I got back while doing stream. The tag, the next one is simple commands. That might be the case here too. Yeah, so all of these ones needed too. Because again, it's just some of these functions are wrappers of other functions that are doing it's just returning back an error if it cannot find the right value. Oh, sorry, the right characters after a certain point. Okay. Okay, so we handle pretty much all the errors there. So we have 3 errors left for not checking for error. And most of them are in test, except for this one here. So that one there is important because it's happening when we were using JSON decode. So basically, that's this one here. Okay. Okay. Here, I'm just gonna flag it out because at this point, the request has been sent. Wait, sent? So this one's gonna be kind of awkward. No, so we will have to just do HTTP. We are gonna print the error. We're gonna log the error. Okay, so we are gonna print the error here. And I'm gonna return the error. And then at the same time, we're gonna do HTTP, and we're gonna use the error function, and the error function. So the error function here, let's see what. Okay. The error function takes a writer. It takes a message. So I'm gonna say server error, and then a status code. So here I'm just gonna use this status code. Where is it? There's error. Yep. Okay. So the way it will work, we could also just we could make this one line kind of. So we could do. Okay. Cool. Then we run it again. Okay, so the ones we have to fix now are just the ones inside of the test. Yeah, so we could do that. The first one is okay. So the first one is in line 70. And it's us just not handling it at all. And this is test, so it's gonna be fatal. And we're gonna say failed. So this is the client that we client we're not able to start it, so we should definitely throw an error here. And that's for our test cases. Okay, and I will just take this over because there's other places that we're doing the file. Okay, so this is the next one. Where's the next one? It's here. So I ended up losing it because I deleted it. Okay, so take that. Okay. New anymore. All of them. Let's save it and just run it again. Okay, so the last ones are just fields that we're not using. So those are easy, just delete them. We're not using them anywhere. And by using them, it's just like I added them, but we never, there was no need for them, right? Yeah, so we're not using them there. Then this one here. We're not using base URL. Wait, I thought we were using display name. That is interesting. Oh, we're not using that. Are we using user at all? We are using the profile image for caching. Okay. Cool. So there's display name. There's close. So we're using close. I have a ticket to make sure to ask support for close, but for now I'm just gonna delete it because we're not even initializing that here. Okay. So let's run again. And the last one is just a function that we never use. So we added it, but it never used. So there's no point on having it. I think for this one, the reason why we have this function that we never use is just I think we ended up over engineering some of these things. Yeah, I think some of the API stuff was okay. So that's good. And then the final check is to make sure that our tests themselves are passing. Because we took out a lot of things. Okay, so. That's weird. Looks like something is blocking, but what? I'm gonna just run the test manually and see. So, API doesn't have any tests. Big. The cache ones are passing, so maybe this one. That would be the one that is doing it. Yeah, okay, so that's the one doing it. So we will figure out why that one's doing it. Oh, it might be fixed. So I think there was an issue at some point, and I ended up fixing it in one of my pull requests. So that might be the reason why. Okay, so okay, cool. So we are gonna push this. Okay, so I ended up fixing all the LinkedIn issues, so we should see this pass now. Okay, so for the actions themselves, what else do I want to add to the action? Okay, so the LinkedIn shouldn't need to run in multiple environments. So maybe the goal will be to be able to see if it will compile correctly in multiple. So the tests right now are a bit busted. So, but I think I fixed it as part of my past commits, which are not part of the main repo yet. So what I want to do for the remainder of the stream is ask support for building the binary, and in so right now the issue with the binary is that it depends on a lot of information. Sorry, it depends on other files. So we need to have access to this directory here. So what I'm wondering is if there's a way for me to create like so I want to do monthly releases. So I'm gonna build it for. I'm gonna see if there's a way for me to build it for Windows and Mac, and then take the binary and add it to a zip file, and then from a zip file, I want to then add it as a release. Well, that will be more for tagging. So maybe the next thing will be to add it to a release. So I want to see how will that work. Okay, so for now, so let me do. I'm gonna create a new one. So the new one will be more of. Right now we're doing this for pull requests. I wonder. Let's do one here for building. Let's just. Yeah, so I want to do the build one. So I want to make sure that it just builds. So I'm not sure if the linting would check if it's able to compile correctly. So I just want to, as part of a pull request, I just want to go and do go build. So it's kind of it's not really testing much. It's just making sure that we're able to just build a binary. So we're gonna do. Kind of what we're gonna do, and then it should just build it. Okay. Class and output. And Yep. Why the first one didn't work? Because the first command is supposed to create a binary with the name of the directory. That's I'm missing something. Oh, there we go. Did I mess up? Oh. Wonder if I messed up the name of the package. Yeah. Wait, is that part of the repo too? Yeah, so I never changed the name of the package. So before I was gonna call it streaming setup, but then I changed this to streaming manager, and then this is version. Oh, we don't have to. Okay. So we are gonna read that, and we're gonna delete that one. Okay, and then we just go build. And it's gonna do this one. Because I changed the name of the package, I need to go back and change. Okay. This is gonna be hairy. That's why I didn't change it. Okay, so for now I'm gonna keep it like this. Cool. So in our GitHub Actions, we just have to go back and we're gonna build it. I'm gonna take this off. We are just gonna do go build. Oh. Cool. I will create a ticket for renaming the Go modules. The Go module to renaming the packages to the correct name. Yeah, so that will help a lot. gonna do so the only thing missing is that we are only doing it but we're only testing it using Linux. I didn't change the name for it. Okay, so I'm gonna let it run. I didn't change the name for it, but I need to go back. The next thing I want to do is like, if there is a way for me to use different actions. Different OSs. Like instead of building with Ubuntu in this case, I want to build with macOS. So I'm going to check if there's a way to do that. So if I'm able to run, okay, so we could do let's see if I hope it works. Okay. Cool. So the way it will probably work is by using metrics and then having the OS attached to it. So what we need to change here. So we have built. We need to change this to. And then we stop step. So I wonder if it's built, and then we could use something like we don't. So this one gets moved here, and I need to check what build is, but that is might be a missing. Okay. So using build metrics. Up to name. Yeah, I'm not sure what happened with the name. I guess the name gets dropped out when you use strategy. Or not. Let's see. You still have job. For jobs. Then you have steps. Oh. Then you have strategy. But why do they use build? That's the missing part that I have. It's like, I guess you don't need it. Let's try it. So let's keep as it is. See. I want to try it. Okay, I think I'm gonna try it. So the conflict that I'm having right now is like, I'm not sure what build does. So the way that this case is presented is that it says jobs. So jobs here. Then it says build, and it has like all this information. But in this example here, it just says like you could have the strategy in this text. and it will just look exactly like this here. So the job that I have here. So yeah, so I'm not sure what the difference is, but we will see what changes. Yeah, we could just do that and see what happens. So if I do strategy, yes, yeah. If I do strategy, if I do run on, so I guess the change is that this job here, so it will look something like and then here there will be strategy. Font. Okay, so build binary and okay, so I think here I could do something like run on, which is the operating system is going to run on, and I could do strategy, right? So from the sample, it looks like it's gonna. So these are the different OS that it's gonna use. So it's gonna use the latest version of macOS, latest Windows, and the current version of Ubuntu as well. Okay, so we could try this out. So let's see what this does. If now we don't have to change our style. Okay. And I'm just gonna amend it. But first, let's see if we finish. Okay, yeah, so it was successful. So it still has the same name, but it's able to pass, like, it was able to build necessary steps for our pull request. And the steps were just mostly step itself was to, well, one was to, it has the same name, but one was to build the binary and the other one was to build, run the linter. So the change that we made for the Go files fix all the linting errors. Now what we're trying to do is start to I want to build the binary for macOS, Linux, and Windows. So that's kind of what we're doing now. Okay, so here I'm gonna just search this change. I have to force switch it. So again, since I'm working on a branch and a pull request that no one else is coming into it, I'm just gonna force push some of the commits because we don't have to do anything else there. Okay, so the change that I made was that I renamed. Okay, so it looks like that worked. So the way that how it configure worked, the way it's gonna work, well, the name of the job is still wrong, so but everything else works. Looks like it's gonna work. So this one is just okay. So the way that it's set up is now gonna build the different binaries for Windows and also Mac and Linux too. I wonder if there's a limit. So there might be a limit on how much time you could spend um, in GitHub Actions, right? If you're using something like Ubuntu, limits in I just want to make sure that I don't go over the limit. So I have a prop. Okay, so there is a limit of how many jobs to start. Maybe the pricing is the one I care. Like, so like I think the Mac ones will be the most expensive one. So there's like a storage limit. Okay, so the way the billing works. I see. So they're gonna charge you per minute if you go over a certain limit. I just have to check what the limit is. I think it might be in my account. Might be better if I just go to my settings and look at the limit. Okay, so for private repos, I get 3,000 minutes. Um, where find the ones like the limits for a public repo. I wonder if it will be part of the repo itself. Like if I go to the repo settings, they tell me number of how much time I have used so far. It look like it. So I just have to keep an eye on it because we might go over. I know the Mac usage is very limited. So okay, so all the actions pass. So that means that currently pull request is ready to merge. Okay, to summarize what we did. So the next one will add most likely off stream because some of the tests are broken in the current branch. So what we added a way for, wait, I didn't push that change. So the changes that we did for our pull request, for our GitHub Actions, we added a new build action, which is just straight up just building the Go binary. We're not doing anything there. So it's building it for macOS, Windows, and Linux. It's just straight up just building the binary. And then the next one is just the other action we added was running a Go linting tool, which is going to run in our projects. So that's kind of what we did here. So I'm going to merge this one. And then the next one that I want to do is, and the last one, is a way for us to build releases. So the goal will be to have the build binary, right? So we have the build binary build, and then we want to be able to take it and, one of the tests is 0. Sorry, not one of the tests. One of, it's supposed to reset it. Okay, that makes sense. So I want to create a release that it will include two things. It will include our Go binary. So the binary that we're gonna have. So we're gonna make. So right now the tool only supports Windows and Mac for now. So we are gonna make a release based on tags. So when we create a tag, we're gonna create a release. So the release will be two things. It will be based on, as the person doing this, I will create a tag with the version of the tool. Then we will create a binary that has it will have the binary, and then we will take the access folder that we have, and from that access folder we want to take it, and then we're gonna want to zip it, and then when the user goes to show for me right now, because we don't have any releases. We don't have any releases. So when we want to take the release, when the user goes into the release version, they will see a zip file that has the Go binary, and it also has like the necessary components to be able to have the overlays that we have here and like different sounds to come back to. And then when Go 16 comes out, they're gonna support embedding files into your Go binary, so we could add support to that, and then we will only have one binary that will have everything that you need to be able to get this up and running. So one thing I didn't do was delete the branch. Okay, so I ended up merging that change. So now every time we create a pull request, it's gonna go through it's gonna check if the linting is correct. It's gonna check if we could build it, and then it's gonna let us merge it. Okay, so let's look into how do we create releases. So I think it might be more. Okay, so there's a action for it, so that's very cool. Okay, so we don't have to create our own token. Okay, cool. So it looks like this will be straightforward. But here's the thing. Okay, so if it's a graph, we set it's true. How do I attach a file to it? So we could really create a release. It would be cool if we could just do like have the binary, right? Okay, so this one includes the file. So it builds it and then includes the file too. Wait, why doesn't this one include the file? See, it would be cool if we could include the files. They call it attach. So we could create the files ourselves. Like we could create a zip file ourselves. Okay, so I guess it's two different releases. So this one's gonna create the release. So it creates the release. We could mark as a draft, and then someone manually will have to go and turn it into a full release. Then we're gonna take the file that we're gonna upload, and we're gonna upload it. The only thing I need to make sure is the naming. So I need to make sure the name is correct. What I want. Yeah, so I want to make sure that we have, like, if there is a way for us to get the OS. If we have the OS, we could then, sorry, what the operating system is, we could then take that, and based on that information, maybe the environment viruses. Based on that information, I could just go Actions. Or maybe I could just do it myself. So I could go. I think it's. No. I guess in this case, I could just use OS. So it would be okay, so I'm just gonna create a script that we could just run. And then based on that information, the script itself is gonna create a zip file, and then zip file, and followed by so we're gonna create a build directory where we're gonna tell the Go server, hey, sorry, not the Go server. We're gonna tell we're gonna zip that folder, and then yeah, so that's kind of what we're gonna do. So so I'm gonna write a script that lets me so the first step that I want to do is just go build, and then I wonder if there's a way to tell Go build where to put the binary. Okay, I thought output. Oh, I know what I did wrong. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is just to make directory, and inside here I'm just gonna make a build directory, which is where we're gonna keep all our builds. And here we are gonna do build that, and then we're gonna do output or info, and I'm gonna do build streaming. And then I'm gonna copy. The next thing we need to copy is, for this to fully work, we need to copy OBS. So you have to have this together. So you need to have the OBS access next to the binary for Go. So okay, and I won't be able to run it because I already have one running for the stream. Cool. Get rid of. Okay, so we have a build file now. So now the next step is to zip our content. I'm just gonna use the same flag that I used. And I give it a name, so I'm just gonna call it since we have it, and then yeah, we might be able to change the name later on too. Okay, so the way it will work is now we have a zip file, and the zip file has all the content that we need for storage is run. So we just need to create it. The steps for here. Sorry, the workflow for it. So we are going to use. I'm just going to copy over build and just to call it release.yaml. And we only have to change. We're going to change this to push. Yeah, push. I think. Tags, yeah, tags, and then we want to build it for all tags that are started. So this means that from here it just says that it's just gonna just take whatever version I give it. Okay, and then for I have release, and here I'm just we still want it to run in OS, so I'm just gonna keep it like that. We want to build it, and so this is kind of the step that I have here is to build it. So we're gonna create the release. I think I need steady. Okay, and then I want it to be draft for now. This is gonna be a draft. We're gonna create. So the way it's gonna work is I set a branch, Yeah. So I just have to create a branch. Well, sorry, a tag with the release number on it. Then a release is going to be created, and the next part is after the release is created, we need to create. We need to upload the zip file. We don't need it. Okay, so it looks like we get a release. Oh, I have to have the ID. So I took off the ID from the release because I didn't think we need it, but it looks like we need it for the following step. So I'm gonna add that back. So there is this concept of an ID, and then the ID here has, so this ID here is being used here to get the URL to get the download, like the file that we just created. Sorry, not a file. It returns a URL that we could use to upload a file to. And that's kind of why we need to have the ID there. I took it off, but we need it. So here is the name of this file is gonna be just it's because I'm creating it somewhere else. So. Or if this will work correctly. So we might have to try it out a bit. Hey, what's up? How's it going? Yeah, I'm not sure if this is gonna work. Because we are passing. So the goal is to have, we will have two zip. We need to have two zip files. Maybe there's another variable that we could use, because right now the issue is I don't think I could use those. Yeah, I don't think I could use this environment variable. I don't think I could use it as part of the job of the action. So I just need to find some of them that have like, so there's secrets, but where's the ones that have like, no, it's not a secret, more of like the operating system that is running on. If I could find the different ones that they have, then I could just use those. The goal will be to be able to access like the operating system will be one of those. So jobs. Oh, there is runner. So I wonder if that one will be the one I'll use. Let's see. Which is the same one as this one here, but is more of, I could use it something like this. So for now, I don't want it. I'm not going to add more extra information. I just want to be able to do that. Okay, so this is how I think it should look like. So we're going to create a zip file that has, it will be based on the name. So the zip file that we're creating here. And then we are going to take that, we are going to create a release for it, and then we're going to upload it to GitHub. So we can try that out. The only thing I need to do is, I deleted this branch. gonna stash it. First. Okay, I'm gonna ignore right there. I'm gonna ignore the build directory. We don't have that. We don't. Okay. Let's see what. Go. Add or get file. I'm gonna stash it first. So stash it. I'm gonna change to master, and I'm gonna pull master because we pushed changes to it, which added all the GitHub stuff, and we are gonna have our stash. Okay, and now we have those changes that we need. So I'm gonna add the files that we added. So we updated the git ignore, so we added the build directory, and then we created a new script. You know what I miss? So I miss, we're not using our script anywhere. Yeah, we're not using the script anywhere. So the script is not being so we're running the Go script, but we're not doing anything else. So here I have to do tools slash that's a path of this. Okay, that is it. Yeah. So so I'm gonna push this straight to master, and then we can start playing with some of the tags. So that push shouldn't have triggered a action or anything like that. Oh, but it's broken. Hey SSP, how's it going? Thank you for the hydrate. Cheers. It's going pretty well. We ended up adding some. We are using something called GitHub Actions, which lets us run. The way to think about it is that GitHub, so our source code provider, is letting us run some tests and actions in their servers. So by using their configuration, we're able to run different things when we push code into our repo. So what we're trying to do right now is being able to push. We want to make releases. So one thing I want to do is be able to just take a binary from. I don't want to build a binary myself. I just want to take it from GitHub and then run it locally. So that's kind of what I'm trying to do. And it looks like there's an error in our YAML file, in our configuration file. So I just have to go back and fix that. What is the syntax error? So I might be mixing spaces and. Okay, so we have. Oh, it changes. So here is supposed to be push, then tags, and then the tag. Okay, so that's a change. Yeah. So let's see if that works. Yeah, so if this works, we shouldn't see an error for our workflow. And then we should be able to, okay, so I think there's no error here. And the way we would test this, do an error. Yes, error. Yeah, there's an error. Wonder what I missed. Okay. So what is the error? So, oh, I see it. So this is error here. Okay, so the error was I was missing a space. I had it. Sorry, not missing a space. I had a space when I didn't need it. Yeah, so I had a space. In the configuration file, and that's why I was trying error. But I just pushed change. We see what happened. I gotta fix that one. Oh, it's 2 minutes ago. Let's refresh. I think that's bad. Okay, so we have release. So this is the one that we just created. And the way we do that is by creating a tag. And this is how you create tags. GitHub, on Git. So you can see the different tags, and then you could create a tag yourself. So we could do git tag, and then we want to do a. We have to include the version number. We have to include v here because we need it to trigger our release. So we're gonna do version 0.0.1, and then we got a message to it. So here we could be we're gonna say this in Git. And then after you create it, you can see all your tags right here in Git tag, see all of them. And I believe if I do, okay, so if I do git push origin, and then I put a tag number, then I will be able to put it into GitHub. And then we can see our action in action. And here, fresh, and we can see our action taking part. So different steps that's going to happen. And so looks like there's an error. So it failed to create the binary. But it worked correctly. I think my zip command is wrong. That would be the only thing. I think the zip command is wrong. And because this one failed, it failed the other one too. So I just have to look into this. And I think I know why. Oh, wait. Might be easier to just do this. No. Wait. We just need to include directory. I see. I just have to pass the R flag to it. Okay. Okay. And because how tags work, they are for a specific set of commits. Just gonna create a new tag. In this case, I'm gonna just call it version 0.1. And then here, I'm just gonna have to add that too. So we switch it again. And we could clean those. We could clean up the tags later. Okay, so we have a new. Oh, but we didn't push the commit, so. I wonder what would that do. So we didn't push the commit itself. So I wonder if it's gonna break some. Oh wait, they push it. Okay, so we have a new one. So this is for 2. Yeah. Because you cannot. That's pretty weird. Just returns nothing to do. Oh wait, did I do? Wait, start release. So our release. So we don't need. No, we don't need that because we're doing it in here. So what we're doing here is we're making the build directory. Then we are. Okay, so we can just run this locally and see how you hit. Oh, okay, I know what. It's because I'm using that flag that is part of here. I don't think I need this. Because I want to keep the structure of the directory. Okay, cool. Okay, that looks better. So we have. I would want to ignore the first path. So it looks like if I do start. So right now the thing that's happening is that when the zip file is being built, it's being built with build in front of it. But I don't want that. I want it to look more. Okay. Yeah, so let's just do the other option. The other option is we go into build directory, then we run okay, so we could run again and see. Okay, that looks way better. Okay, yeah, this one will do. So then here we just do git add tools, commit. And create a new tag. Again, we have to create a new tag just because how tagging works is each tag is connected to. You could change the tag, but it's a lot more work. Excuse me, it's a lot more work to change it. It's a bit more work to change the tag than just create a new one, I think. And then we're gonna push to. And then we should see if it shows up. Okay. So we have actions again. Okay. Cool. So it's building a new one then with a new setup. We're setting up the job. So it's installing Go right now. It's running our Go action. That takes a bit. But the cool thing is that it's running both. So it's running Windows and the Mac at the same time. So we could see how both of them are happening. So it's weird that I cannot click into. Okay, so this one fell. Oh, that's interesting. We created the release. Maybe the last thing it should print so that the Windows one fell because the file was missing. The thing I will have to check is how. Oh, you know why? It's because I cannot run a batch scripting. The batch script itself wouldn't work, but it's something. Yeah. So I will have to write a okay, so for now I'm just not going to do Windows because I have to do some I have to use a different command to be able to build the window one. So instead of using the script that I'm using, I will have to use a different script just because I cannot run bash, which makes sense. Okay, so for now I'm just going to take off Windows. And then I will write a command that lets me okay. So maybe it might be easier. Oh, I also have to make sure that's installed. So, okay. So we have a new action, which is just gonna build for macOS. Yeah. So the macOS is the one that we're gonna be building to make sure that it works correctly. And then that would be pretty much it. If you enjoy the content, I stream Mondays and Thursdays at 8 p.m. and then Saturdays around 10 p.m. Sorry, 10 a.m. 10 a.m. Eastern. And don't forget to press the subscribe button. Sorry, not subscribe, the follow button to get updated when I streaming. But also, if you like the content, you could also subscribe. So I'm just gonna wait. So release it. Yeah, it created a bunch of releases, so I have to delete some. And it didn't attach anything to it. But the main issue that's happening is I was trying to do something weird on Windows. I was trying to use Bash on. I just have to make sure that the commands for. I might just get rid of the release script and just build the binary to the command, so I could add it to the workflows. That's something I may. In that case, I just have to make sure that the zip command that I'm using works also. But I may need to add an extension to get it to work correctly. It's still very interesting that GitHub doesn't let users that not log in the build process. Cool, so it's building still, so I'm just gonna let it build. Yeah, it created the zip file, it uploaded it, and it's completing the job. So we may have a new release ready for us. Over. Oh, it's a draft, so I won't be able to see it. So because again, I'm not logged in, I'm not able to see it yet. So there's. So this is how the final one will look like. We have a draft, we have the name of the release, and then we have the different things. We could also add like more information about it. But that's pretty much it. So we have a full release too. And this release from the build logs, so if we go back to the action itself, we could see that's not that one. But here we could see everything that is part of the zip file. So for the zip file itself, we have the binary, and then we have all the different profiles that we need to have our header, our alerts for subscriptions, and all the animation that we have for like GIF and all the different things. Yeah, so it's very cool. Cool. So I will end the stream here. Again, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to press the follow button, or also don't forget to subscribe as well. I mostly stream on Mondays and Thursdays from 8 p.m. Eastern to 10, maybe 11 sometimes. And then on the weekend, I stream on Saturday from 10 a.m. to maybe 2. And the way that it's set up is for Monday, most likely I will be working in our streaming tool. on Thursday, Thursday, I might do some DevOps SRE kind of work. So here we're using, just figuring out how to use GitHub's Actions. And then on Saturday, I will try to learn something new, which at that point I will try to read. So one language I want to learn more about is C++. So it's something that I'll probably be learning next week. Thank you so much for the follow, Kulubaka. I think I got it. That one. Yeah, thank you so much for following. Mostly appreciate it. Yeah, again, thank you so much. I will see you Saturday or Monday. Thank you so much for watching.